When you look at Adam, Eve, and Cain, who all displayed a lack of faith in Jehovah, can you imagine what that family dynamic must have been like for faithful Abel? The tension, hostility, resentment, lack of spiritual discussions? Do you think Abel's faith was tested? Indeed it was. And today, our faith may likewise be tested by the actions of those who choose not to serve Jehovah. We invite you to watch the following reenactment. As you do, note how a sister's faith is tested.
I arrived in a new city during the rainy season. It rained all day, every day, for a whole month. At that time, there were only 3 publishers there. The first sister I met was my new pioneer partner. At first, I felt as if the people in this territory spoke a different language. When I tried to talk to some people about the Bible, they did not like it, and some were even afraid of these new ideas. When government officials noticed that we had shared some tracts with the people, they began to watch us and followed us for about 3 months. I felt overwhelmed by all of this and became very anxious. I had few return visits or opportunities to speak about Jehovah. I felt lost. I didn't know what to do or where to go. I often wondered, Father, why did you send me here? It was like I had gone from being on a mountain peak to the bottom of a deep valley.
As our sister adjusted to her new circumstances, did you note how her trials made her feel? Anxious, lost, and overwhelmed.
Yes, that probably had something to do with the fact that this sister, this Jehovah's Witness lady, had almost certainly been sent to preach as a Jehovah's Witness in a country where the work of Jehovah's Witnesses is banned. This, by the way, is William Turner. William Turner is a helper to the service committee of the governing body. His talk here is titled, Imitate the Faithful, Not the Faithless, Abel, Not Cain. And we've just seen a short video, which again seems to be a reenactment of the experience of a Jehovah's Witness lady moving to a city in what must almost certainly be China. I mean, where else could this be? I found it interesting that in this city, there were only 3 publishers. So 3 Jehovah's Witnesses engaged in preaching activity in a whole city. What does that tell us about God's interest in making sure everyone around the world has an equal opportunity to learn the truth, to be saved in advance of Armageddon? As I've long argued, it's fairly obvious, isn't it, that Jehovah is disproportionately interested in saving people from certain parts of the world. In other parts of the world, particularly large parts of Asia, including China, Jehovah's not quite so interested in saving people, is he? Certainly not if there's only 3 Jehovah's Witnesses in a whole city tasked with converting people in that city into God's one and only true organization. Anyway, regarding this lady's experience, she is obviously disturbed by the fact that, first of all, she's learning a new language, it seems, and she's also being shadowed by cops because, again, she's being asked to do something that is against the law. When you are a Jehovah's Witness, the ends justify the means. Even if preaching is dangerous, even if it puts you in harm's way, you are expected to do it. And they even send Jehovah's Witnesses from Western countries out to China and have them work their way into Chinese society and try to befriend people with the aim of converting them into the faith. I've had 2 ladies on my channel, Amber Scorer, writer of the book Leaving the Witness, and more recently, Natalie Sanchez. Both of these ladies have first-hand experience of what it's like doing missionary work in China. And interestingly, in both cases, it was a combination of the language barrier and the freedom afforded by doing this work undercover, in other words, no longer being on this hamster wheel of continually attending meetings and keeping up with this strict regimen of observing your faith. It was the freedom of being off the radar and being left to your own devices that greatly helped both of these ladies in realizing that it's not the truth, that in fact they were being used and exploited and put in a perilous situation by a cult that was putting its own needs first and their needs very much second.
Abel remained steadfast when under trial. He didn't let the actions of his family affect his faith, and we can't let the actions of others affect ours. We must never allow something that another person says or does to make us feel ashamed of being one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So be ready. Be quick to identify yourself as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. It will help to build and fortify your faith. Well, let's now go back to our sister. In the following reenactment, note how she imitates Abel's faith.
I studied the Bible to see how Jehovah cared for his servants in the past. For example, I read how Jehovah told Jacob throughout his life, "I will be with you wherever you go." I pictured Jehovah telling me the same thing. "Don't worry, just go, and I will always be there to help you." I begged him to help me to be balanced, to feel peace, and to have courage to go out in the ministry. One day, Jehovah helped me to find a very good Bible student. It was an absolutely wonderful and unexpected gift from Jehovah. Our small group joins congregation meetings through the internet. This arrangement is a valuable source of spiritual food for me. We get together for meals and association as well. The experiences on JW Broadcasting make me feel that I am not alone, and I always smile and wave goodbye at the end. It's wonderful to be here.
Did you notice how our sister built up her faith in Jehovah? She imitated Abel's example, and she followed those steps. The first step, she pondered on spiritual matters. She studied the Bible to see how Jehovah cared for his servants in the past, and then she applied what she learned to her situation.
Apparently, following Abel's example is all about convincing yourself that you're in God's one and only true organization and begging Jehovah to help you. That's all this lady did according to what she said.
I pictured Jehovah telling me the same thing. "Don't worry, just go, and I will always be there to help you." I begged him to help me to be balanced, to feel peace, and to have courage to go out in the ministry.
Picturing Jehovah saying, "Just go and I'll be there to help you," and begging Jehovah to help you feel peace and to have courage, that's apparently the secret. That's the winning formula, apparently, when it comes to being faithful. And I'm sorry, it's going to work in some cases because you're going to convince yourself that you have God's backing. You're going to try really hard to prove that you have God's backing. And in some cases, your efforts are going to work. In this instance, the lady says,
One day, Jehovah helped me to find a very good Bible student. It was an absolutely wonderful and unexpected gift from Jehovah. Our small group joins congregation meetings through the internet.
Interesting that she doesn't clearly say whether this Bible student is going to the meetings or not. She literally just says, Jehovah helped me find a very good Bible student. It was a wonderful and unexpected gift from Jehovah. Well, if you listen to my interview with Amber Scora, and in fact with Natalie Sanchez, we learned from both of those interviews that getting Bible students or getting Bible studies in China is basically about tricking people into thinking that you're their friend. So meeting people, befriending people, and trying to surreptitiously work into the conversation Jesus and the Bible. And as you feel progressively more confident that they're not going to turn you into the authorities, you weave in, oh, by the way, when I say Jesus and the Bible, what I really mean is follow the Jehovah's Witness interpretation of Jesus and the Bible, and you'll survive Armageddon. Everyone that you know in this country, all of your friends and family, they're all doomed. They're all going to die pretty soon. But good news, you're the exception because you're becoming a Jehovah's Witness. That's essentially the strategy that Jehovah's Witnesses working underground in China are pursuing. Apparently, it's some amazing example of faith that we all need to follow. And am I the only one who detects more than a bit of insecurity in this talk by William Turner?
And today, our faith may likewise be tested by the actions of those who choose not to serve Jehovah. We must never allow something that another person says or does to make us feel ashamed of being one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
If what you have is really the truth and you are convinced that you have the truth, this advice is superfluous. I mean, what purpose does it serve? Either you have the truth or you don't have the truth. It should make no difference whatsoever what other people say or do, and whether people denigrate your beliefs or not. Your faith is rock solid because you know you have the truth. The only time it's going to be a problem, the only time it's going to make you feel ashamed of being one of Jehovah's Witnesses, is if you're not fully convinced. And for me, William Turner is almost acknowledging this, that this is going to be common among Jehovah's Witnesses. They will have these insecurities. They will be easily swayed in certain situations where they're encountering pushback on their beliefs, where they're having to field criticism and defend their beliefs. This is an issue, or will be an issue, for many Jehovah's Witnesses because they are insecure. And they are insecure because at a certain level, deep down, they know that what they believe isn't really true, or it's at least no more true than what other religions teach. What he's describing, really, when you think about it, is cognitive dissonance, that uncomfortable feeling when your brain is having to balance, on the one hand, this underlying insecurity that you're being taken advantage of and lied to, and on the other hand, this certainty, this assuredness that this must be God's one and only truth, and anyone who's criticizing you must be wrong.